criminals killed the previous one. That's the audio, how it goes. So as a reminder, I didn't finish eating my breakfast because
the other one left to go out. It's like right places. I spent the whole day afternoon. And I go to the mall to the document to buy the tickets and meet the shit. Have all the things to see. But then the hotel did something that's not going to do here too. It has pretty bad for me not having document even now. Which today something else has to be true. It's just too much. There's so many things. And in my brain, each one of those things just stays there and it doesn't get addressed, right? So now, you're saying that somehow the baby has something in his leg. Sure, because of the reasons that we managed to circumvent, it's solved with one pill per day. And there was tons of bullshit that guy was saying. Because something that many bats do. Even I mentioned this ago, they're just being treated with human medicine because many bad things do. I mean, it turns out you all kind of similar systems. And human medicine tends to be much cheaper because humans are much bigger than cats and dogs. Just when they some pass from one to the other. You mentioned that the difference.
as a casual reminder, in the back you can identify 3 different types of sound done by 3 different people. As you noticed when I started, you wouldn't listen to any of that. It's pretty silent. But it doesn't matter because the microphone is a couple centimeters from the phone in a very sheltered area. So there ain't no excuse for you not to be listening to that other than tampering with the phone. Yesterday, you seen video, someone passing facing the other way at speed, speaking louder to this phone than I was at this distance. Not even like facing my mouth to the camera, my mouth to the microphone. So, as I said yesterday, all they can do is tamper with evidence, right? I'm just pointing out that there was no noise there in the back. This is a place that drug me every day, and the wind blows from the back, and it is relevant. But that being said, that would still by no chance stop you from listening to that unless they are tampering digitally with the thing as it happens here. That's important. Okay, so both aspects to put that because that's weird, but also make it very clear. No matter what, as we witnessed yesterday, ain't no reasonable person to presume that someone's speaking, but facing the other way, away from the microphone, because the phone is facing up. There's no microphone on top. Microphone is only underneath. It's a very cheap phone, and to have a louder voice than me talking directly to it. So I just like witnessed yesterday when you're going for the screen recordings, you notice the difference in voice in the screen recording, difference in voice in the camera. That is also manufactured. Not the screen recording one. That's probably the original one, the real one. The one in the camera, manufactured by them, artificial, and you can clearly see the difference. Same thing here. You can listen to that clearly. I'm listening to each word that I'm saying from here on the top. I can guarantee you'll be listening to that. In such a sheltered area. Also pay attention to the animals there. The other types of victims are there other than me.
Introduction to tampering, I suppose. If it's too much, she doesn't say this second. 2 minutes ago. Okay, neat. 1 hour 39:35.
I think it stopped. I think I said all of that for a couple of seconds before the whole thing stopped anyway. Said that. Yep. So that was it. It was not that much, but a couple of minutes I think. But I was speaking, looking at you to showcase the emphasis of this is like what they're doing to my life. And so it is a joke for them. I don't dispute that one. They don't even self-preserving. There were several incidents even when in between causing pain or harm or suffering to me or preventing evidence from coming out, they always prefer to just cause harm to me at the expense of the evidence being more public. And it's not even just because of not caring for it. Actually, as I said, is most of it, I don't think the sun is going to come up every day. It's actually, you can see a little bit of that phenomenon in most people, but in them it's exceeding because, again, there's a reason why you pay taxes and declare things. Again, if you want an analogy, what I'm trying to say is, much like everybody else, that everybody has a little bit of that. Most people don't think about the sun as, astronomical aspects to expect it to come up the next day. You expect that happens because it has happened every other day in your life. But it's just a bit exceeding here. And you can see that, as I said, in obedience to rules and laws and other things in general. As I said, everybody kind of does something wrong. If you have any problem with any company, you probably just need to dig up a little bit and you're going to find some major inconsistencies, some major issues, something major coming up. Okay? And it doesn't matter if it's safety related, it doesn't matter whatever it is. It is just the way that much of this culture functions. That being said, this is just as an aid for you to understand, as I said before, what they're thinking. None of that's sculpatory, none of that is an explanation, is just a way to help you understand, a justification. It doesn't justify anything, it's just a way for you to understand probably the mentality that goes into that, which is, it hasn't happened yet, so it's not going to happen. Basically, if you want another reference, it'd be like criminal things, and you think, what kind of person would think it's a good idea to do this? Clearly they got away because they're incredibly lucky. And what the first thing that they do the same crime again. And then they get caught because they were incredibly lucky once, but they're not incredibly lucky twice. Again, something that law enforcement deals with every day. You just can talk to big cops and they're going to explain that to you. This guy literally managed to run away from the police by foot, and he could have his entire life, and instead he goes back to the same place and does equivalent crime, so he catches them for this one and the previous one, and he's done. And this is just something that they think. They didn't think that they got away because they got lucky. And it's funny because it's something that most of the time, how just like yesterday, that I didn't do much of this. They fucked up enough to cause you to see them. It's actually very little to do with my ability to show things to you because I'm very hampered. I don't plan things too much ahead. In certain things I can, in certain ways. Obviously I'm explaining that here. But for most things, it's just, I'm always overwhelmed. And that's the intention. And that's the point. They cannot get away with being able to do that. That's the major impact also for the tier 3 of criminals that were just mentioned, which is it's coordinated. It's done for a purpose. Okay. In this group, you would have idle threats as well. Anything that would have an impact that could be lasting on me. Remember last time we went to the gas station and there was this guy quite literally saying something, quote, if you say bad things about society's going to go there and deal with you. And stuff like that. And I literally, when I came back, the only thing I mentioned about that was, that's something that they say. I think it's idle, in an empty sense, because they already do. Maybe apart from the torture and the drugging and the other things. Cool. That's why we're filming, and that's why we're exposing this to the rest of the planet, because whatever society is talking about is not bigger than everybody else. Again, in the scale, I'm quite sure that whichever society he's thinking about doesn't rule the world, or doesn't have much influence apart from whatever he's talking. So his idea is to say that was a grace and mercy. Yes, the torturers and war criminals, the things will be happening the way they are. And my assumption is, there's a bigger fish out there. They have way more than they can protect, and they have way more to lose for sure. So, at the end of the day, which in a way is exactly the same arguments that they use to me. And when you understand that, you actually get the full grasp of this crime. Notice something weird you saw yesterday? This. It was on this phone. I wanted to actually transfer normally, but I think I'm going to film first, then we transfer. In front of the mall, there was this stalker. And two things you got to see. First off, as I was leaving the bathroom, do I finish this? I'll finish in a second. Yeah, because I would remember this one. This is how the abuse to my mind works, or the assault, if you will. I will prioritize finish what I was saying before, because this one I remember because it happened as I was leaving the mall. So the priority is not of importance. It's not even out of context. The priority is quite literally out of, I know that what they're going to throw on me is not going to stop me from remembering that one, and I don't know about this. So to finish what I can say today, my take on that was that just the completely uprooting of a rule of law supposed to stand by, right? And by the way, that's the very criminal they're being accused of.